What's up, you guys? Today we're going to be talking about ticker symbol PLTR, Palantir Technologies. This is one of my personal favorite stocks that I've been holding for a while, and I'm going to continue holding because Palantir can grow immensely. Goldman Sachs has a $35 price target assigned to it currently right now, but I easily think in 5-10 years it's going to be worth a lot more than that. Just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Purely take this as grain of salt and do your own due diligence. Please do not ever use one of these videos to make an executive decision to invest in a certain stock because I said it's a good stock. And I think do your own due diligence. Again, you are investing with your own money. I am not investing your money for you, kind of thing. You are doing this on your own. So please do your due diligence and have high conviction within your stocks. If you have high conviction in your stocks, you won't be worried when they turn red. But again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if you guys can, please do me a huge favor, drop a like down on this video, hit that subscribe button, make sure that you ring that bell for the YouTube algorithm. It greatly helps me out with the algorithm since I'm a growing YouTube channel here. So thank you guys all for your wonderful support so far, and let's continue on taking this channel and Palantir to the moon. So let's talk about the chart. So overall for the day with Palantir, it was up 2.41%, which is about 55 cents. And the huge thing with Palantir is we actually got back above that 2280 support, and we really tested out this 2350 support, not support, resistance, and we got rejected by it a lot. We actually broke above it and had our high of 2355 right here in pretty much the third quarter of the day. The huge thing that is immense about this move is the past 2 days, really, Palantir has been moving in an upwards direction. If we actually zoom out here to the 1 month view, what you'll see is you'll see a run up essentially into double click day, and then a sell off from double click all the way down to our bottom that we hit here. It was like 2134 ish, 2124. So really the huge thing is we hit this bottom here at 2124, then we had a pop, and then we had our, it was a little bit of an up day / consolidation day on Thursday, and then Friday we really closed the week strong. So what's really great about this is we're off of the bottom of the barrel, and now we're moving back up in our general direction. And if you really actually let's zoom back out here to the month. You really take a look at where we were trading now, and right where we were trading the day before the double click event, we were trading right before this giant rip. So I'm not saying that we could see a giant rip tomorrow on Monday, but there is definitely very strong buyer's sentiment behind the stock right now. And again, we were assigned that $35 price target, and we're currently trading at $23.41. So we do know this stock is definitely worth a lot more than what it's currently trading at. And personally, I think it's worth a lot more because Wall Street really cannot figure out how to slap a label on this stock or really understand and digest what the stock does. And I think the huge thing is once Palantir can get their marketing materials simplified to the point that the average person can understand it and doesn't need a data scientist degree to understand it, I think that will do them a lot of good and will bring them a lot more clientele. They're already winning contracts in the government sector and in the private sector, but I think they could win a lot more if they had a better marketing material. But anyways, rant aside, taking a look at the chart, we had a nice rip here off the warning, and we pretty much almost touched 2350 and pretty much got rejected by it. So we sold off a little bit. And we had a period of consolidation followed by making these lower highs, which is higher lows, my bad. Higher lows, which is good because that is a very bullish direction for the stock on the intraday. We are also trading above the VWAP, which stands for the volume weighted average price. That's this gold line right here. So if you bought Palantir on Friday, you more than likely made money on that stock when you bought it, versus the stock being below the VWAP, you would have technically lost money on that stock that you bought that day. So keep that in mind. We are definitely in a very bullish territory right now on the micro perspective. We're sitting here at 49.15 on the RSI, which is actually pretty good. I'm happy about that because we're sitting actually below the volume weight, not the volume weight VWAP. We're actually sitting below neutral, which is actually really good for the stock. So that means we have plenty of room to move to the upside. And I personally don't see us moving to the downside unless if some announcement comes out about capital gains tax like Biden did last week, kind of thing. But the huge thing is, if we get that announcement and we see a giant sell off, gotta remember news always trumps technical analysis, no matter what. News always trumps technical analysis. So I may be able to say one thing, and then if Biden comes out or the Fed comes out or something comes out, earnings or anything like that, any news catalyst will instantly take technical analysis and just throw it right out the window and say, all right, this is the direction that we're going in now, kind of thing. So you got to keep that in mind. Palantir also has their earnings coming up. I believe it's around like May 18th, 15th, or 18th in that time frame. So we might see a nice run also in earnings because a lot of companies tend to have very positive sentiment going in the earnings. And the old fashioned saying of buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing is definitely going to be in the possibility and within the cards. We saw it with DoubleClick. Are we going to see it with earnings kind of thing? We're pretty far out from earnings, so hopefully we're just establishing a new floor for the stock. That's what I'm really hoping for, and that we get this $25, we get up to $25, and that's psychological / technical resistance. And once we get there, we establish $25 as a new floor, and we don't see $20 again. That's what I would really love to see with Palantir over the next couple weeks, is a bullish move to $25 and claiming it, and then us saying this is it. Palantir is worth at least $25. Anything below it is considered a very hard buy. And personally, with me, with Palantir, anything below $22 is a very hard buy. I nibble on it below 25, but I don't hard buy it below. I hard buy it below 22 and nibble out at 25. Those are my personal price targets. Remember, this is not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice kind of thing. So let's hop out here to the 5-day chart actually and really take a look at the past 5 days. This really helps us bring perspective to the stock and helps us understand what patience allows us to get with the stock. We touched 2124 here on Tuesday. Gosh, I had to go back in the week in my head. On Tuesday, we touched 2124, which was our low. And we had a bullish move, followed by another bullish move, and then Biden opened. Sorry, I don't want to get political, but Biden opened his mouth about taxes, and then boom, we fell, and then we closed the day. We actually closed positive on that day, which is actually good. On a day that we had that negative of a news catalyst, that we closed positive is a positive thing for the stock, and shows that we outperformed the market that day. And then on Friday, the market had a very bullish day. The S&P 500 hit an all-time high. I believe it was like 48.25 that the S&P 500 ETF hit, which is insane. So we hit an all-time high, and then we actually made a bigger move in the after hours, and we're sitting at 2350. So the huge thing that I'm going to be looking for on Monday is, where are we opening the market, pre-market at? Are we opening the pre-market at 2350? Are we opening it lower, higher? What's going on there, kind of thing? And then what does the volume look like? Is the volume very heavy? Is it very light? Or what are we looking at there? And then the huge thing is, after 9:30 happens, the market opens at 9:30, and then between 9:30 and 10, I really normally don't buy any options contracts or any shares because it's very volatile during that 30-minute time frame. I've started trimming it back a little bit now to like 9:45-ish, but still some days it seems a little volatile. So really looking at the stock at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where are we sitting? Are we moving in an upward direction? Are we moving downwards? Are we consolidating? What kind of moves are we making? But the huge thing with Palantir is, over the past 3 days, we've really made a very large jump from sitting at $21 to sitting at $23.41, and we're trying to test $23.50. So it's a very good direction, and we only did this in the past 5 days. Imagine what we can do moving forward. We just have to have patience with the stock, and that is the huge thing. Investing is not a short-term thing. Sure, you can buy options contracts and you can make $900 on an options contract in the short term, but in the end, you want to invest for the long term because A, you're not going to pay as much taxes, and B, you're going to see the full benefit of watching that company grow from this little itty bitty thing that's misunderstood to a massive company. So Just keep that in mind. But really, over the past 5 days, we've been moving in an upwards direction. We're trading above the 120-day, 60-day moving average, and 20-day moving average. So we're trading above all three of those on the 5-day perspective. Taking a look at the VWAP here, we are a little bit overextended here in the morning, but we did cool off into the rest of the day. The best part is we had an upwards movement and we cooled off this VWAP, which tells me, not VWAP, gosh, we cooled off the MACD, and which tells me that we had a very strong move in the morning, which was a very volatile move, and then we had a pullback, and then we had slow and steady growth, which is what we want in a stock. We want slow and steady growth. We don't want volatile moves because, once again, I preach this a lot. Implied volatility drives up the price of underlying options contracts and causes your options contracts to be more expensive than what they normally are underneath low volatility. Now, you'll also hear people say, buy low volatility options contracts, sell high volatility options contracts, because the price might not have changed, but if the price is still the same and our volatility goes up 20%, you're going to see that increase within the options premium. It's not going to be much, but it definitely will be there. And keep in mind, the same thing can happen to when an options contract drops in volatility. You can see it actually decrease in value because the volatility is not as high within that options contract. So keep that in mind. But let's go ahead and hop out here to the 1 month time frame. This is one that I really like to cover. And take a look here. All three moving averages here are all below Palantir right now. All below the point that we're trading at, which is great. It is a very bullish direction. We have the RSI sitting here at 67. We have a bullish crossover on the MACD. Actually, from the open on Friday, we have this bullish crossover of the MACD, which shows that we're in a very bullish territory. We are also starting to get a little overextended on the MACD, which is one thing that we want to kind of try to calm back if we can. But the other thing I really want to point out is we're sitting here at 67 on the RSI, which means we're 3 points essentially away from being considered overbought. So we need a period of consolidation in the next couple of days to help really reset some of these indicators, help drop down volatility a little bit, and really help the stock just take a breather before it makes its next move. And that's the thing that we really want to see, is because we have a little stair step here, then we have our stair step up, and then we have a fall down. So people might call it a bull trap, but then we have this move back upwards. So can we make a nice, maybe to start off the week, the perfect thing to do would be the consolidate. Let's reset all these indicators. Let's have everything just calm down and just remain calm. Now, it's going to be hard because this week is one of the largest weeks for earnings. And we have people like Apple, Tesla, Amazon, like all of these large companies reporting earnings. So volatility is definitely going to be up this week. So keep that in mind when purchasing options contracts, because they are probably going to be more expensive than what they might be next week. So just keep that in mind, keep that perspective, and just be patient with the stock. But the huge thing, we're making these bullish moves. We need a little bit of consolidation, and I honestly hope we can have a bullish move, get above 23.50, and then do some nice consolidation before we retest $25. Because really, not $25, my bad. 24.58 is really going to be the point that I'm going to be looking at. Is once we get above 23.50, get that consolidation, 24.58, 24.50, that range is what I'm going to be looking for. And how do we test that range? Because that's where we had essentially our top before we sold off right in the double click. So just keep that in mind. So really, when we sit here and take a look at the RSI, we're sitting here, we're approaching overbought. So we do need to cool that down. Let's bring this back down to 50, but hopefully tomorrow we have that bullish move. I really want us to retake 23.50 and then do some consolidation. That would be a very healthy move for the stock. It's not sexy to consolidate, but it is very needed in healthy stocks moving in an upwards direction. So the other thing I wanted to really take a quick look at is the options chain for this week, and just seeing the outstanding interest within the options chain. So if we take a look here, there's 21,318 open options contracts at the $25 strike. So that's a pretty significant amount of open interest. We do also have only 3,000 at that 20 $25 strike for puts. So our calls definitely are outweighing our puts right now, which shows that the stock does have bullish sentiment behind it. People believe that the stock is going to go up and not go down, kind of thing. That's really good for the stock. But overall, from Monday, my personal thoughts is what are we going to be doing with 2350? Are we going to be testing it as support? Or are we going to be testing it as resistance? And then if we do get it as support, are we going to consolidate for the day? Are we going to have a slow, steady growth day? Because if we have a slow, steady growth day, we'll have some small periods of consolidation, which will really help out with this underlying RSI. So just keep that in mind. If it's consolidating, doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. I understand we all want stocks to go up and we only think stocks go up, but stocks do trade sideways sometimes, and it is a very necessary thing for stocks. We do have to consolidate because we can't just grow, because what's going to happen is we're going to grow, and then we'll have to do a lovely Fibonacci retracement to figure out how far a pullback is going to be, kind of thing, because stocks do go up and do go down, and they have those pullbacks. But consolidation helps us have those healthy growth points and really helps us having harsh pullbacks when we have them. So, but that's what I got for you guys today with Palantir. Hopefully Monday is another bullish day for us, and hopefully it gets us off on the right foot for the week. But if we do end up face planning into the cement on Monday, I mean, I kind of get it because there is definitely a lot of FUD within the market right now with Biden's taxation plan and all that kind of stuff. So this is weighing in. So do keep an eye on the news because the news will definitely help drive the overall market. And if the overall market is probably going to be bearish, we might see a very bearish Palantir because of that FUD and uncertainty, because it is at an all-time high right now with taxes, with inflation, and all of these different factors. So just keep that in mind when you're investing in the stock market, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.